well for Elizabeth and I to speak briefly about the two organisations. So the Coochiemudlo Island Heritage Society has been here a long time, formerly the Historical Society, and again, as I said, there's former presidents, secretaries and committee members filling this room today. They're big boots to follow, and things and times change. We've been a little quiet. We're going to do more. It's important that our AGM will be in a month's time, on the 16th of August, and I think everyone's recognised that it's harder and harder to get volunteers and committee members in all the groups on the island. So if anyone could be thinking about perhaps joining on the management committee, which is really very small this year, and it makes it harder to get things done, it would be very, very welcome. So we'll have information about the AGM out shortly, and certainly calling for volunteers to join a happy and pleasant group to try to make important things happen. And it's only when the community comes together with those organisations on a day like today, and particularly when we can work together along with the artisans and others, that we can really understand how the community works. So the Heritage Society has the magnificent history room downstairs, and for those who are newer to the island, it's a great place to explore, not just if you're a writer doing some research, but someone just wanting to know things or look at amazing things. And Jan and Joe have been working hard in that room, others in the years before them, and they brought up a little display today relevant to what's going on. So when we have open days and advertise those, please avail yourself of coming and seeing how it's changed and what new things are there and what things have been put in cupboards and things brought out in their place. And so many people have contributed over the years. There's some wonderful yearbooks to look at, and there's so much history, not just from Ted, but from so many people on the island over a long time. But as we often talk about, the history is being made now as well. The people who are alive and living and achieving and doing things on this island are really important as well. And we want to continue to look after the evolving heritage of the island, not just the history, in terms of its environment, its people, its Indigenous history, its settler history, but the people and the activities and lives that we live now. And we've got to try and capture some of that for us all to enjoy and for this to be remembered in the way that sometimes we look back and remember things that we've forgotten or didn't know about. So it's an important organisation. It is small, but it's got a great history of its own. And we would love people to continue to participate, enjoy, and come along to our AGM and really think about joining the management committee, whether you're young, old, new, it doesn't really matter. It just takes a little bit of enthusiasm and care about this great place where we live for us to work together to try to make important, not just events, but important capture of history and heritage as things exist for us. So please come along. For all those who are members, you'll get an invitation email to the AGM, obviously. For those who are not, we'll get things on the Facebook page and things to get you along. And we'll talk more about ourselves on that day. Today is Christine's day very much. But thank you for the opportunity, Christine. And we'll invite now Elizabeth to come and remind us about the Progress Association, who does many great things, not just have a husband to drive a bus.
Progress is very delighted to be here with you today, and it's wonderful to hear the history of what Progress has done on the island. And I can only hope that we're living up to the expectations that have been created in the past. Progress has a long history here, and we're working on different but similar issues to those of the past. So the Progress is very much involved in the Coochie bus, which in 3.5 years has had over 65,000 passengers here on the island. And we couldn't do that without all the wonderful volunteers. As John mentioned, volunteering on the island is so important. We're very fortunate here that we have 28% of our population actually volunteering, whereas the national average is 14 and Queensland is 14. So well done everyone on Coochie, because we can't do it without you helping us. So we have those, the bus, we're trying to get an electric bus at the moment to replace our bus. but we also have the medical aids, which are available. We have the pharmacy run, which gets pharmacies delivered here to the island. And we're working on other issues that to try and make life better here on the island. So we had the 50-cent fares, which we didn't get initially, but we fought to get, and some thought it was a bit of a curse to start with because that meant lots of people came to the island. But I think as we've settled down, people are appreciating the extra money they have in their pocket to do other things on a daily basis. The next fight is going to be about getting 50% off on the barge fares like the other islands. But we'll be sending out some surveys about that because we've started work on that as well. We too have our AGM coming up in the next few weeks, and we'll be advertising. We all need volunteers to help us to do the work that we do. And we appreciate Christine's opportunity for us to be involved in this today. And it's wonderful for me, as only being here 5.5 years on the island, to understand more about the rich history that we have here. And we hope that we live up to those expectations of those who come before us. So thank you.
I'll just say something about, just reminds me about progress, because it certainly in the 1960s and 70s, the Progress Association was really the main and only organisation that other people could really touch with, base with for the community. And going through some of the early minutes, it's made me smile. You know, it's weeds, tourists coming over the weekend leaving all their rubbish, the barge ramp needs fixing. You know, it was just like, you know, the more things change, the more they stay the same. It was really quite an insightful experience reading some of those early minutes from the 1960s and early 70s.